Hello everyone, and welcome to another brand new episode on my channel, Bohemian BookClub. Today I'll be discussing the book, Vagabonding, written by Rolf Potts. Rolf Potts is an American travel writer, essayist, podcaster, and author. Rolf, who's been traveling the world for years, and knows a thing or two about it, put together this book to show how anyone with an independent spirit can live the dream of traveling around the globe. Vagabonding is an accessible and inspiring guide to financing your travel time, determining your destination, adjusting to life on the road, working and volunteering overseas, handling travel adversity, re-assimilating back into ordinary life. Before moving ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Part 1. Are you an independent person? Do you dream of traveling around the world, experiencing different cultures? Before asking yourself that question, think about how independent you are. Being independent means being able to decide how you want to live your life, by traveling when you want, without having to worry about making sacrifices. Travel is made more enjoyable when it's not expensive. Many of us believe that you need a lot of money to enjoy travel, but in reality, the opposite is true. In the movie Wall Street, Charlie Sheen's character explains to his girlfriend how he plans to make a lot of money so he can fulfill his lifelong dream of riding a motorbike through China. The problem, however, is that most people don't realize that the same dream can be realized with much less effort, and without having to work yourself to death for several years. Traveling is considered an expensive affair by many people, most of them thinking that it's just a hobby, rather than an essential part of their lifestyle. We have come to view travel as a luxury item the same way we might view other things, like cars or clothing. That said, this type of travel is only for short trips with tight schedules, and an emphasis on getting a comfortable stay. There won't be any room for surprises and exploration. For example, typical trips to foreign countries often try to cram too many destinations in only a few days, and therefore fail to provide us with the rich experiences travel has. This is mainly because of the way money controls our lives these days. With so many people being under financial stress, it's no wonder that free time is considered a rare luxury, and traveling is something that only the rich can enjoy, or young people, who don't have any responsibilities upon them. However, this book proves that this isn't necessarily true. Part 2. Start vagabonding now. Having a vagabonding attitude is the most important thing while planning the trip of your life. Stop wasting time, and become your own dedicated travel consultant. Start finding out all you can about your chosen destinations, researching their features, and looking at all the maps. Vagabonding is about connecting with places through intense exploration, embracing new experiences, and changing your habits. This is a really important attitude that you can't just learn from the check-in counter. It needs to be developed over time. Before you pack your suitcase and set off globe-trotting, make sure that there's some income coming in. Being financially independent is a crucial part of your travel plans. Vagabonding involves traveling without any particular goal in mind, and this requires you to have enough money to sustain yourself while on the road. Some backpackers, who are known as trustafarians, travel using their family's money, instead of the money they earned themselves. They're constantly complaining and underwhelmed when it comes to traveling, because they didn't really earn their trips. They are probably just happy to get some time off from their monotonous lives. They often have a hard time pinpointing their motivation for traveling, and they emphasize on reaching their destinations, rather than looking at things from the perspective of the journey. Before leaving to travel, be sure to ask yourself whether you're looking to travel full-time or just occasionally. Some people prioritize work over everything else, so that they can make enough money to give themselves a comfortable living, and then take the occasional break during their time off. Vagabonds, on the other hand, are those who look for a lifestyle of traveling, and take their jobs only as a means to sponsor their trips. Part 3. Keep it simple. A vagabonding mindset emphasizes travel over everything else. It's best to have a simple approach when traveling, as you don't need as much money for it. A lot of people travel to experience new cultures, but sometimes it's not just about exploring the unknown. Sometimes a simpler life can be even more fulfilling. By paring down on possessions and living a more simple lifestyle, you'll be able to focus on what matters most, what brings meaning into your life. Try packing everything you own into a backpack and see how you fare. Learning how to live with less is an absolute necessity when traveling, so start looking for places that apply the skill of scaling down. You can adopt the following methods in order to scale down. First, stop purchasing unnecessary items. Don't buy travel accessories ahead of time, because there will be plenty of stores where you could buy them from while traveling. Stop spending money on eating out. You can save a lot of cash by packing your own lunch and eating at home. Selling off your extra possessions can also help with saving money for travel. This can be especially important when you don't have much free space to store things. Although at first it might sound intimidating, traveling on a tight budget can in fact provide an entirely new perspective and set you up for success. It showcases your adventurous sides and helps break away from habits that are no longer serving you up well. Part 4. Don't overprepare your trip. It's up to you whether or not you want to prepare in advance for your trip. However, don't overthink things. Sometimes the best experiences happen unexpectedly. In fact, they're often part of the charm of exploring a new place or backcountry segment on a trip. Also, too much research about a location can give you the wrong idea of that place. You may make the mistake of spending hours reading about your destination or watching documentaries on social media about it. Doing so gives you an idealized picture of your destination. When you finally get there, however, you're bummed to find something drastically different than what you had thought, and your illusion is shattered. Having said that, if you're someone who's planning to go vagabonding for the first time, it's better to have some preparation beforehand. But remember where you're getting your information from, and make sure it's credible. You should be mindful of what you see on TV news channels. Some news shows can sensationalize conflicts or disasters, which can make your idea of a city or country wrong. Guidebooks can't be fully trusted as a credible source of travel information either, as a lot of guidebooks are biased towards certain brands and companies that ultimately benefit from the said bias. Blogs are in fact much better alternatives, and seemingly more professional sources of information. There's so much content on the internet, you can even find authentic and unbiased readings online. To listen to more interesting summaries, please subscribe to my channel. Part 5. Take it easy. Have you ever been on a trip only to be more stressed out than at home because there was just too much to do and see? Sometimes in these cases, it's best to place no restrictions on your time and take things as they come. Don't just head for the tourist attractions as soon as you land at a place. Give yourself time to look around, explore, and get the best of your visit. By lowering your speed, you can see a lot of things differently. You might be able to notice details or memories that are less obvious to people who are used to moving quickly. As you continue on your journey, you'll start to consciously acknowledge and even seek out moments like these. Part 6. It's the people you meet that makes vagabonding so memorable. Sure, it's the places, but it's also the people you meet while traveling that make a trip unforgettable. And these new and old friends will play a significant role in months or years of memories to come. These people may be strangers, local friends, or familiar faces. They could become romantic partners on the fly, or mates that you hang out with every now and then. There are many things you can learn about the cultures of these people and their countries. You can learn their dances, explore different political spectrums, and so on. It can also teach you a lot about yourself that you might not have known before, and offer you a new perspective on the things you're already used to seeing every day. Part 7. Find your adventure. With risk-taking being limited, it can be hard to understand what really constitutes adventure. Often, people think of activities like traveling outside the country, or hiking in a forest near their home, as adventures. In today's day and age, most people decide on their travel adventures in advance, because of all the options they have. They know exactly where they're going, and what they want to do. The problem is that this causes us to approach our travels with a lot of expectations. We always try to plan out the perfect itinerary before it even gets started, which can sometimes lead to some major disappointments. On the contrary, when you're vagabonding, things can go differently than in your day-to-day life. For example, you may use squat toilets overseas, or eat fried insects at a Thai food market, or take a third-class train ride. When traveling in a new country, or even a new city, you'll find that the world has much more to offer outside of your comfort zone than you think. These small things, like riding a motorcycle, scuba diving, or eating at a local street food joint, might be the perfect opportunity to push yourself out of your comfort zone and give something new or different a try. Part 8. Stay creative, stay excited. Eventually, after spending a lot of time on the road, even if you love it and are in a beautiful place, you might start to feel like your enthusiasm for the surrounding area is starting to deplete. This is because our feelings are subjective to our surroundings. When you plan your trip, you might be living a life at home that is dull, grey, and stressful, which is why the trip seems so alluring. However, when you're on the beach all day long, it's possible that your vacation won't be as enjoyable as you had hoped for. To keep your trip exciting, you should mix up your travel plans. A good idea would be to vary your means of transportation, like taking self-driving taxis, or public transit, sailing down a river on an inexpensive fishing boat, bicycling, or walking off the beaten trail, etc. Another way to keep things interesting is to find work, if that's applicable. This way, it could give you more of an adventure, while still being productive. You might not be making the most money while working during your travels, but that's not the point anyway. The point is to make a little bit of extra cash, so you can experience life as well as you can, while doing what you love. For example, you might choose to teach English to native students, or work in a nursery. Other options include working in hostels, as some may offer free accommodation, and the opportunity to work for food. Conclusion. Some people say that vacationing is about escaping the daily grind. However, in order to be vagabonding, you have to be adventurous and spontaneous with your travels, and also keep an open mind. True vagabonds should have an easy mindset about money, planning for their travels, and interacting with the local culture. Following these simple tips will help you become a carefree vagabond, and reap the greatest rewards of your long-term travel. Thank you for watching this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your likes, comments, and shares are highly appreciated. See you soon in our next episode.